Alright, so as we start our Unit 4 review, um, first thing to notice is I cut and pasted this into my notes section, so my question format might look a little different than yours. So you see 1A and 1B. That's just to give me some room to write. So it says classify the triangle. Classify the triangle by both sides and angles. So classify just means name the triangle. So as I look at this triangle, I'm going to name it by its sides, and I'm going to name it by its angles. So when we name a triangle by its sides, we have three choices. We have scalene, isosceles, and equilateral. So scalene, isosceles, and equilateral. So in a scalene triangle, there are 0 congruent sides. In an isosceles, there are 2 congruent sides. In an equilateral, there are 3 congruent sides. So as you look at this triangle, you should notice that this side and this side are equal, and so that means it has 2 congruent sides. So the answer here is that this is an isosceles triangle. Now when we name it by its sides, by its angles, as you look at this, this is 100. And so one of the things that we learned about an isosceles triangle is that it has 2 equal sides, but it also has 2 equal base angles. So if this is 100 degrees, we know that 100 plus x is going to equal 180. So you could do that off to the side, come back and say, oh, these are both going to be 40 degrees. Because 40 plus 40 is 80, 80 plus 100 is 180. So when we name it by angles, we have 3 possibilities. We have acute, we have right, and we have obtuse. So when it's acute, we have 3 angles that are less than 90. A right triangle has 1 right angle, and an obtuse has 1 angle bigger than 90. So as you look over here, you see this 100, so that means that we have an angle that's bigger than 90, and so this would be an obtuse triangle. So the answer to 1A, 2 answers, it's isosceles and obtuse. So now to part 1B, what is the length of BC? So it wants to know the length of BC. And now you got to be careful here because they give you these expressions for all the 3 sides. And the only thing we know for sure is that this side BA, is congruent to side BC. And so since they're congruent, we can set them equal to each other. So 8x plus 15 equals 10x minus 5. I don't need this to solve this triangle. So now we just solve it. So I'm going to move the smaller variable. And so now I get 15 equals 2x minus 5. Add the 5 to both sides. Those go away. So I get 20 equals 2x. Now we just need to divide by 2. So 10 equals x. So our value of x is 10. That doesn't tell us what BC is. BC has an expression of 10x minus 5. So in order to figure out what the length of BC is, we're going to take our value of x and plug it in. So since x was 10, we plug it in. 10 times 10 is 100. 100 minus 5 is 95. So the answer to 1b, what is the length of BC? Segment BC is equal to 95. If you want, you could say 95 units. Alright, now it says for 2a, list the sides from smallest to largest. And so in order to do that, I want to know what this other angle is. So we'll go ahead and call this x. And so we know that the three angles of a triangle always add up to 180. So we get 108 plus x equals 180. So now we solve it. We minus 108 from both sides. And so we get x equals 72. So this becomes 72 degrees. So the reason we want to know the angles is because one of the things we learn is that the biggest angle is opposite the biggest side. So since this is 72, that means my biggest side is AC. My smallest side is going to be opposite my smallest angle. So this is my smallest angle. So this means that this is my smallest side. I'm going to go ahead and write small here, large here, and so by default this would have to be my medium side. Now, always read the directions. List the sides from smallest to largest. So I want to write my answer as small, medium, large. So the smallest side is side CT. So we say segment CT. Our medium is segment AT. And our large is segment AC. So we listed the sides from smallest to largest. Notice it's very important that you go back and you figure out all three angles. Alright, now in 2b, give the smallest angle. So like up here, the smallest angle is opposite the smallest side. So we just look here and we find our smallest side. So this is going to be my small, this is my medium, and this is my large. So this 20 is opposite this angle. So as this opens up, this is what makes that 20. So my smallest angle is going to be angle G.